and welcome to this episode of the Total Podcast with me, your host, Phil Scott. On this episode of the Total Podcast, I'm going to share some of my favorite automotive YouTube channels and also some radio tech hosts that I find very enlightening and interesting. So let's go straight to it. The first host I want to talk about is on YouTube. His name is Scotty Kilmer. Now, Scotty's been an automotive mechanic for well over 55 years. I believe it's 57 years now. And Scotty has his own quirky, unique nature. He works on cars. He reviews the cars that he works on. He gives out automotive advice. And it's funny, it's enlightening, and it's worthwhile watching on YouTube. Scotty also does live streams. He does his live streams on Thursdays and on Saturdays. So it's usually Thursday mornings, depending on what time zone you're in, and Saturday mornings, again, depending on what time zone you're in. So if you get a chance to watch Scotty Kilmer and get some of his automotive advice, it's hilarious, it's incredible, but it's very insightful, and you'll get a laugh. I love it when he puts his funny pictures of animals smiling or laughing. It's hilarious. You have to watch it to appreciate it. But Scotty is very knowledgeable. He's even answered a few of my questions that I've submitted on his live streams. He gives out very useful advice. Again, his website is scottykilmer.com, and on YouTube, just look for Scotty Kilmer's channel. It's Scotty Kilmer. So check it out on YouTube. Another YouTube channel that I find very fascinating is Sarah Intuned. Now, her real name is Sarah Greenwood, but I call her the Automotive Amazon. Sarah's tall, she's smart, she's a super excellent mechanic, and I love it when she does her restorations or her modifications on cars that she likes to do. It's very, very interesting to see Sarah at work. One of the recent things that she did, she bought a Survivor Toyota Celica. I think it was an 82 Toyota Supra, I believe. And that car was just magnificent with what she did to it. She tried to keep it as original looking as possible, but the mods that she did were excellent. Also, she is currently working on, at the time of this making of this episode of the Total Podcast, she's restoring a 70s era Toyota Celica. Now, when she bought the car, it was in excellent shape as just an original car. But she is installing, and she has installed now, a Toyota V8 engine from a modern Toyota pickup truck. And she's also done some other things to the Celica, and it's not quite done yet, again, as of the recording of this episode. She's put a lot of time and effort in it. She records the episode, so she does all of the recording of the episodes. She does car reviews. So Sarah is very multifaceted in what she does on her YouTube channel. And just to show how smart this lady is, she was in the Air Force, and she left her career in the Air Force to do what she's doing now on YouTube, and she's been a huge success. Granted, she puts a lot of time and effort into her work. So her YouTube channel is Sarah N, the letter N, Sarah N Tuned. So I will have links to Scotty Kilmer and Sarah N Tuned and my other guests that I talk about on this episode. Not guests, but other people that I mentioned on this episode in the show notes. All right, now we're going to talk about technology. The first host that I listen to on the radio every weekend when I get a chance is the legendary Kim Komando. Now, Kim, she's been doing her show since the 90s. She's very tech savvy. She's very knowledgeable about all kinds of phones, other electronics, or you name it. Kim can give you the lowdown on it. And she's just an incredible host. Her talk show is on weekends. Where I live, her talk show is on Saturday evenings. But if you want to catch up with Kim Komando's talk show, her radio talk show, Google it and check your local listings and see if Kim's show is on in your market. And don't forget to check Kim Komando's website. It's kimkomando.com. And again, I will put links to Kim's website and her show in my show notes. Another person that I'm really impressed with is Rich Demuro. Now, he succeeded Leo Laporte a few years ago. Leo Laporte was just this incredible tech radio host, and Rich Demuro is not letting listeners down. He's a lot younger than Leo is, of course, but he brings his own spin on technology. He tests the products, whether it's iPhones, Samsung phones, you name it. Rich tests it, and he lets radio listeners and viewers know about it. He's on KTLA up in LA, but he can be seen in other markets, like down in San Diego. He's on a couple of stations down here. But if you get a chance to listen to Rich's show, his radio show, at least in my market, it's on Sundays, but up in LA, it's on Saturday mornings and early afternoons. So here where I'm at, it's Sunday afternoons. But again, check your local listings for Rich Demuro's radio show. And also you can, again, Google Rich Demuro, find out when and if you can catch him on television. Again, he's on locally in Los Angeles on KTLA, but he does have his radio show, and he goes all over the place, all over the world. He drives cars, he tests cars, he tests anything techie. It's interesting to see Rich at CES when he goes there. So he's like a kid in a candy store. And so Rich is very personable. He's fun and interesting to listen to. And I will have links to Rich Demuro in my show notes as well. Now, I want to give out another quick shout out before I end this episode of the Total Podcast. And it's about a guest that I had on my show not too terribly long ago. Her name is Amanda Cline. She's an automotive host, but you have got to catch Amanda's reviews. I will put links to Amanda Cline's automotive reviews because they're very good. She posts things on Instagram, but Amanda, I've had her on my podcast as a guest, and I was lucky enough to meet her in person at the LA Auto Show for a few minutes. She's very personable. She's very kind. She does awesome automotive reviews. And if you get the chance to see her reviews, follow her on Instagram. It's Amanda Cline. And I will put links to Amanda in my show notes. So with that, that is the end of this episode of the Total Podcast with me, your host, Phil Scott. Everyone stay safe. Be careful out there. Take care of one another. And we will talk again soon.